What's up, guys? Welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 reaction right here on...
Go high. Go high with it, yeah.
Nick.
Because this is how champions drink.
Cannonball.
Oh, man.
my God,
Drink out of
this
this
is
cup.
horrible.
Please
This is
pour
your
all
third
your coffee in.
sugar-free Red Bull of the day.
Chug, chug,
Oh my
chug,
God.
chug, chug,
Oh
chug,
my
chug,
God.
chug, chug.
You are Groot.
That's why he's the
You are
champ.
Groot.
That's why he's the champ.
Yeah.
I forgot to clean the popcorn out of that
Yeah?
before we started going.
that
Got a
good or
lot of
bad?
kernels down
You
my
into
throat.
it?
Almost choked just now,
Oh my God.
but like a fucking man, I'm gonna keep going.
Tomorrow on the morning show, please drink coffee out of this. Spring break forever!
Spring break.
That coffee and popcorn do not, or Red Bull and popcorn do not go well.
No?
together.
No?
no.
But I appreciate you did it.
It's just the burnt kernels. They taste bad.
Sure.
As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Ahoy.
Gamer Greg himself, Greg Miller.
Hi.
And we're going to do our kind of funny review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Of course, like always, it's going to be spoiler free until we make it very clear that it's spoiler filled.
Hard to drink out of it though, not designed to drink.
Sure.
It has a
What
lip that
is
goes
it?
this way.
Why does this
What do you
not-
mean, what is it? It's
So
Groot,
to be clear,
idiot.
me and Greg watched Guardians 2 last week.
Hell yeah, we did.
Shout out to Marvel Games. They hooked it up. And then tonight, you guys all went. I was like, I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, you hated it the first time. You
Not-
didn't want to see it a second time to hate
Absolutely
it again.
not how that happened at all.
Right.
So,
But but basically you're saying my opinion counts more than anybody else's.
Will you
Same
stop
because I've seen it
sighing at me?
twice.
No, because you have really bad opinions about things when it comes to movies.
I mean, where have I gone wrong? Batman v Superman,
Probably
not a
there.
bad movie.
Probably there. That might be the
Captain
right.
America: Civil War, not that great, except for the
my
Spider-Man, Ant-Man
Yeah, there's
stuff
a
in the
whole
center.
bunch of evidence that you're just mounting upon
the
yourself.
other Captain America parts were just the Oreo cookie. Then you had the cream. That's what I wanted. I wanted the cream.
That is
all
a
over
fair
my
assessment
face.
of Civil War.
Thank you.
To be
Ooh,
perfectly
I forget
honest.
I'm sorry.
See, but
you
Nick,
That's okay.
the problem
You're
with
okay.
you is that you don't remember your
Red Bull.
opinions from like 2 minutes ago, let alone 3 months ago.
So I've
you would
seen-
have no idea.
have
If
no
I were to
idea if I
ask you,
agreed.
what did you say about Civil War?
I would say
you
I liked
wouldn't
it.
know.
I remember my assessment of Civil War. I thought I liked it. It was a perfectly fine movie.
So I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 twice now. I love this movie. This is a great movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. It does exactly what I want out of a sequel to a great... Here's what I was
you
thinking.
know what?
because-
You can have some of my Red Bull.
Thank you so much.
You're
Wait,
welcome.
you didn't tell me. What the hell is the history of this thing?
It's what they serve popcorn out of tonight.
Oh,
It's
popcorn.
Yeah.
I should have known. I should have gathered that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways,
Do you want some?
my point of this, as I realized, Tim, as I saw it the second time tonight, making my opinion the most valid here, is that what I liked about this is that it is the perfect comic book sequel in the way of it picks up just like a comic book does, where when you finish a comic book and you pick up the next one, we're right back into the action. Everything's going. Here we go. I'm not going to spoil the opening of the movie. Not that there's really spoilers. You've kind of seen it in trailers or whatever. But it's just like, all right, cool. We're the Guardians. We're fighting this thing now. That's where we pick up. We're just normal old Guardians, still doing our own shit. This is
Normal
what's going on.
guys.
And I'm like, yeah, all right, great. And they jump right back into that banter, those roles, that rigmarole, and then expand on it from there. But
I agree with you
transitions
completely.
imperfect. Thank you very much.
There you go. You're right. Nick, what do you think?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was. I don't really want to say it's more or less entertaining than the first one, but I really enjoyed it. I liked the banter back and forth. I liked the plot, as thin as it was. I was like, this is cool. It's kind of fun to see all these characters develop. And I thought they actually did a really good job of developing some of the character storylines, specifically like Gamora and her sister, or those things that you didn't necessarily want more of, but you're like, hey, we're getting more of that. And
Yeah,
that's pretty
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that I'm in the minority that I think this is better than the first one. I don't think by a long shot, but I just think that all the things that I liked about the first one, this one improved on, which was the characters, the dynamics that they had, the lines that they had, the jokes that were there. And this, it just felt smaller. It didn't feel as crazy and like, oh, we need to save the whole goddamn galaxy. It was just like more in there, even though that added into it as well. But it always felt smaller because it was a family affair.
Right.
And like, granted, this isn't the best movie about family we saw this summer, but it's up there.
But I like the, and I have to say, not so subtle nod to the Fast and Furious franchise that clearly James Gunn and his team wrote into this, because it was about family.
Entirely.
And that's the most important
The whole damn thing.
thing. We're not friends. We're family. That was like Vin Diesel.
That was good. That was
No, that was
good.
good.
Vin Diesel. I like
He was on all
that.
right.
Thanks,
So
everyone.
going
Cheers.
into this
Sweet,
movie,
Cheers, Andy.
sweet Candy Andy likes that joke.
Yeah, no,
Come here, you sugar pop man.
no, stay over there, Sugar Pop. You don't need to be part of this. I was most worried. I think that out of all of us at the table, we all enjoyed, if not loved, Guardians 1.
Love Guardians 1.
But going into 2, I think I was the most critical. Watching the trailers, I was always like, they're going to overdo this. Baby Groot, he's going to be running amok. It's going to be way goddamn too much.
Sure.
Batista, he's going to be making the same jokes he made in the first one, just more. The trailers did not sell me. I'm like, this is just going to be more, but without the payoff.
Sure.
I was so wrong.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
thought that
you
this
feel that way.
movie really did a good job of everything we saw in the trailers had an extra dimension added to it in the final movie. And I thought that Baby Groot was as funny as he was cute. And
I got so much shit in my mouth right now. I apologize.
it was worth it in the long run. I thought that the Batista jokes, both things I thought they were going to overdo, which is Batista and Groot, they did overdo, but it was okay with me. Like I was never taken out of it.
I'm right there with you, right? Where it's like the thing about the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy was they left you wanting more, which was good. This was that more. And you know what? It's okay. Like it was fine. There was a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, okay, it's done. Like, you know, even the parts that you felt you're starting to get into that territory where like, are you really going to do this joke? They kind of came at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
An angle that I didn't think. Like Kevin brought up a good point. There's moments in the movie where you're like, are they gonna keep repeating that joke? And they do it in such a way where like, okay, they actually managed to do the thing that I know it's a cliche saying, but they gave me exactly what I wanted, but slightly different.
Yeah.
Every single time, which is good.
Yeah.
Is it spoiler time?
I feel like we're
Let's get right into
you're
spoilers.
saying stuff.
People know
exactly.
at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, my thing about it is before spoilers is are we in the minority by thinking this is better than the first?
Yes.
Is that I saw somebody?
Oh God, yes.
Somebody I haven't looked at any reviews in some.
All the reviews are 7 out of 10. It's more
Really?
of the same. Like
See, for me,
range.
this is one of those ones where I feel like when I talk about Uncharted, this is the same kind of cheat code to like, oh, I like this movie better than the first because it's just building on what they've done before.
Yeah.
It's picking up, like you're saying, you wanted more because now they are friends. They are a team. They are doing these shenanigans and working together and not trying to figure that out. That I like a lot. And to what we're talking about, like, I liked Batista in it, right? And I liked how they used Baby Groot. Batista talked about it in some interview, the fact that when they did the first movie, the writer wrote Drax and then they chose him and he's like, great, and here we go. Whereas this one was written with him in mind. They knew what they were doing more, and that's why this feels more a lived in character and it feels more natural. And granted, I know them, but it's the same thing with Gamora too, where watching this, I like Gamora so much more in this movie because she has a range of emotions that feel a bit more natural to her.
I think Gamora was the weak point of this movie.
You're
for
a
sure.
weak
And we'll
point.
get into
You're a
that
weak point of the show.
when it comes to the
Thank
story.
you, Candy Andy.
But I think that what this movie does better than the first one is the first one gets a lot of bonus points because it made us care about a group of people that nobody knew unless you were a real hardcore comic guy.
Yeah.
Like even the people that consider themselves comic fans, you know Thor, you know Iron Man, you know Hulk, you know everybody, Doctor Strange even. Like you know all these people that are now in the MCU. Guardians is on that fringe where it's like you need to be pretty damn into that shit. You need to be a fucking nerd. Off-camera guy that I'm not going to name right now, to know who those guys are, you know. And I knew them because my friends played HeroClix. I didn't know a shit about. I didn't know shit about the backstory. I just knew there was a dude named Rocket Raccoon. I'm like, I'm fucking in, right? But to see them in a movie, it was such a joke. It was like what Colin would always talk about of just like, there's no way this movie fucking succeeds. Like no one gives a shit about.
They've gone too far.
They've gone too far. Whatever. It's like gonna implode on itself.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it didn't because they went in knowing that no one knew who they were.
So they could take chances and do cool stuff.
And they gave those characters different like characterizations than they have in the comics even where it's just like because once all that just starts happening, I read the Guardians, the New 52 series that they put out, and I was totally into it. But even that's different. Not New 52. The fucking what was it called? The bullshit Marvel Now that they did. Marvel Now. Yeah, great.
New 52 was, you know,
it was the other bullshit. Both the bullshits happened at the same time and both were useless. But the Marvel Now, when they did the Guardians thing.
Interesting different
I
changes.
just think I remember you saying you did not like New 52.
Well, you know, I mean, like
multiple times.
But now, did I like?
You would face
but
palm
did I
and be
did
like,
I
hate
not
this so
like
much.
New 52 as much as I didn't even care or know about Marvel Now? That's the bigger question.
But to be
Because
fair,
as far as
Marvel Now
DC
did
Universe
bring a
better,
lot more
DC
quality
DC
than New
no,
52 did.
no.
That is a
I mean, maybe actually.
A
no,
fact.
that's a
Both
point,
sound like you're
actually.
making shit up right now.
No, the Batman from New 52 was great.
Sure, Snyder, that was great.
Yeah,
But
but
Superman, no
everything
good. But
else-
then they got rid of it. But they brought My Superman back, and now they're kind of
Guardians was great in Marvel Now. But I still think that the MCU was better. Like I liked the versions that James Gunn kind of helped make better. And I think this movie really just let them shine when it wasn't the origin story. Even though, to be fair, the first one didn't give much of an origin story. Just kind of put it together.
Well, it's the origin of the
fun.
team, right? That's different than an origin of each of the characters. As much as like, all right, now how do they learn to play together and how do they work together?
Yeah, wait, are we in spoiler territory? I forget.
Not yet.
Not
But
yet,
let's,
no.
you know what? Fuck it right now.
So everybody go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
Spoilers.
2. It's awesome. Spoilers. This is your spoiler warning. We're going to spoilers right now.
Yeah, I think they did a very smart thing in the first one, which is that they answered a lot of questions, but not all the questions. And that's what this movie does, I think, really well, is that it answers a central question, central to Peter Quill's character, Chris Pratt's character, which is like, where does he come from? Who is his dad, right?
Yeah.
And that was something that we didn't necessarily need answered, but we wanted that eventually.
Well, that's what the last
And that's
question they leave you with in Guardians 1.
And that's
right?
what the heart of this movie is, which is good. The reason I think I liked this movie and the reason at the end I felt I actually had an emotional connection with the characters and you know the final scenes was because I actually did care about that connection he had with his mother. I did want to know who the father was.
Yeah.
And once that was answered and once you realize that, you know, as cliche as it sounds, that his real father was there the entire time, albeit blue and abusive, that actually hit on that resonated with me on a level.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think that's really good, and that's very hard to do in a sequel. It's very difficult to actually have the characters, because you know what they always say, like the origin story is always the most interesting thing, right? That's why sequels in the Marvel universe tend to fall flat. It's because once you've seen the Avengers come together,
do they though?
Yeah,
I think
Age of Ultron.
But the thing is, it's like some of them don't though. Like Captain America 2 was leagues better than Captain America 1 was.
Sure, but that's not saying much. Captain America 1 wasn't very good. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas Iron Man 2 was not good compared to
Yeah.
Iron Man 1. I mean, I would say
Thor 2.
Thor
2
2
was.
Yeah. Thor 2. Yeah. Thor's a
Now,
different
granted, I'm
beast.
super hyped for Ragnarok. I think they're gonna do something really fun
Right.
with that.
Well, again, because it looks like they're doing something different.
Right.
Right. We're not trying to just do the exact same thing.
God bless Jeff Goldblum's little cameo in this, which is hilarious in the credits. Did you see him?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Shout out to cameos in general.
In this, yeah, they had a
movie.
lot of fun stuff.
Super good.
Shout out to Rocky showing up about halfway through.
That was what I was didn't want to tell you, but that was good.
With Stallone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Anytime Stallone shows up anywhere, you're like, looking good, Sly.
He still has hanging in there.
He's
Shout out to
hanging in
Michael
there.
Rosenbaum. Mm-hmm. The ice guy or whatever the hell he is. Diamonds, I don't know.
What was that team? Is
So that is a
that's the
problem that
original
I
Guardians?
have with Guardians and their like end credits and all that. It's just like, dude, no one knows who these people are. And the people that are cheering, it's like you're either faking it or you're shout out to you. You're a true nerd.
See, that's my thing. Don't get me wrong.
Did you know? Okay, cool. So the group of people, now that we're in spoiler
was
territory,
Michelle Yeoh one of them? Is that the actor?
I don't know. Who
I don't know
everyone
about
was, yeah.
actors, but Michael Rosenbaum was one. Stallone, when that group of people, that's the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Being Rames
from the
for Christ's
comics.
sake?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
And then,
He was looking good.
Looking
yeah,
great.
and then the second thing, the gold.
Adam.
I don't even remember. Someone
Adam
after the movie
Strange.
was explaining.
Adam
Adam
Warlock.
Warlock. Yeah.
That- I mean, like,
Which is,
here-
isn't that supposedly who and all that?
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait, that's who she's
I didn't even
creating?
fucking-
Yeah, the guy she's like Adam.
Interesting.
My whole thing was like, I hear you on that, but I gave up on that a long time ago, being a casual Marvel observer, not even reader, right? Where it was like when when the credits rolled on whichever one it was, because I don't remember anyone. It was Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver,
That was.
and the person I was with was just like, "Well, so who are they?" And I'm like, "I don't really know. Don't really know shit about them."
See, but they're still top level enough that like.
I mean,
you
I know
could've
Quicksilver's fast and Scarlet Witch was
But
red.
you could have known who they are based
Fair
on
enough.
watching cartoons that came out in the mainstream.
Sure.
going back-
But I like the fact that they do this now and not only with Marvel movies. I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Is Howard the Duck is what we got last time.
We got
to
him
give
this
me
time, too.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
3-4
Seth Green.
times.
I didn't notice Seth Green
I
voiced him
didn't
this
know.
time.
That's fun.
But I mean, for this one, it was just like, all right, cool, whatever. I don't know. You can go ahead and build your own universe. You've done well enough to put all these cool people in it. Not to mention, we gotta, you gave me Spider-Man. That's all I fucking need.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Going back, isn't Adam Warlock like the central character of the Infinity Wars?
No.
Infinity Gauntlet saga? Sorry.
Well, he like propels the story along.
He's like the guy that has the grand plan,
I
right?
mean, he's the guy, that rallies everyone together.
Yeah.
Like we can beat him.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be central here, but obviously
I've never read
interesting.
Infinity Gauntlet.
I feel like are they setting Strange up for that? I don't know. I'm asking off camera
It's
guy.
too early.
He doesn't have
yeah.
a microphone. Don't worry
That's
about
fair
it.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's 30 IGN lists that'll tell you all about this.
Yeah. But in terms of cameos, I was talking to Andy about this a little bit before we started filming. A moment that I thought was weird, and he brought it up as well,
Yeah.
is this movie, for as much as it gets right, I feel like it doesn't let itself breathe. And there's so many times where it's like, it's funny, but then it gets right into action, and the action's just simply not good. The action of the opening scene is great. And then so much of it, it's just
Actually, the opening scene is fun.
It's too much space. It's too much. Just there's so much going on. I thought that the climax of this movie did not compare to the first movie. The dance battle of the first was like totally the whole movie's payoff, right? Whereas this one was just a typical Marvel action movie ending.
Yeah. Sure.
But the big problem was the emotional point of this movie, which was when Kurt Russell said, "Yo, I killed your mom."
Yeah.
A second later, he was Hasselhoff.
That didn't bother me though.
It bothered me so much because it's like that's funny as fuck that,
It was funny
that
as fuck.
Hasselhoff was making the cameo.
Yeah.
But like I was trying to care about this.
I still cared. I still especially
cared.
that scene in particular. Like I loved the fact that it snapped him out immediately, and then he did what we all would have done. I feel like so many superheroes would just monologue a bit more and yell at each other, and then run in and punch. He just blows them away or whatever. Like it takes out all that aggression on him.
That was great.
Yeah.
Didn't need the Hasselhoff bit then. The Hasselhoff bit should have came.
I mean,
at
I
a
feel for
totally
their
different
universe
point.
and what they do, it's the same thing. It's the same way of like I love the scene of when they survived and they do the superhero Avengers spin around thing, and then the fucking thing slums on nowhere, hits Mantis in the head, and Batista like,
Watch out.
watch out, Mantis, watch out. I was like, that's fucking great because it's like that is what they are. They can't be. I feel like the reason Guardians continues to succeed is because it is Deadpool without being Deadpool. It is
Absolutely. But I think Kurt Russell wasn't that. And I think that him being Hasselhoff was like, that doesn't make sense for
I mean,
this.
I see what you're saying. There's a lot of moments where pacing was just like nonstop. I mean, there's no real like lull. I think there was one lull, and I used that opportunity to go to the bathroom. Was when Chris Pratt was talking to Zoe Saldana, and then I came back and I was like, Kevin, what happened? And Kevin's like, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention.
And see, that was
Literally,
not what I
just
said.
said,
That's
I don't
not-
know, I wasn't paying
That's
attention.
not what I said. I don't know,
He was
not
picking
much.
Swedish fish out of his beard.
No, that was huge though. For me, was the relationship between Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana that they built up in the first one was almost non-existent unless it was convenient in this movie, which I thought was weird because it was like you could tell that the whole family thing was the theme of this movie. So they're like, all right, we're not gonna even give them their real moments. They built it up so much.
They had a couple good moments. I thought
they had a couple moments, but like
and they built
I
up toward
felt like
the end moment where she admits finally that she has feelings for him. It's good. It's a slow burn.
I felt like it's too slow though. I felt like that's what the first movie was.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I liked it. It's one of those things where like, this was in a lot of ways, which sounds silly, but it's a much smaller film, right? It really is just about those dynamics of the characters, and I thought they did a pretty good job setting those up to the point where when they kind of, oh my God, I'm starting to hallucinate. Maybe I should back off the Red Bulls. Nah, fuck it.
It's 10 o'clock at night. 10:30.
We're going all night. Aren't we doing like 3 hours of this review?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Great. No, I thought that the payoffs for a lot of those relationships was fine. It was good for me. Like again,
Batista's felt earned.
Did he have a character arc? I guess he did, right?
Batista?
Where at the end he
Yeah.
kind of falls.
I mean,
for
he's
the girl.
becoming
She's
more a
beautiful
normal person,
on the
right?
inside.
Like that.
Right.
There was
I like-
that, and there was that where he throws her a bone. There was the him lying with Rocket. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right,
That's
right.
probably because he stole the things, and he's like, oh no, he didn't. I don't know why they're chasing us.
Exactly. So I thought those were fine. But again, like a lot of the same issues this movie had as far as any criticisms you're going to have, you could absolutely have with the first one, right? Which is that the bad guy is kind of this thing that's threatening the entire galaxy or universe or whatever that we're talking about. I guess it's galaxy. They're guarding the galaxy. Like he's threatening this thing. It's like, okay, great. They're going to beat him. There's no fucking way this guy can win because if he wins, everything's dead, right? He's just going to destroy everything. So of course they're going to win.
It's,
So
also, it's a superhero movie. The bad guy's not going to win.
yeah, but there's lots of good examples of superhero movies where like, yeah, the bad guy, it's the same criticism we always have, which is like, it's this war of escalation where it's got to be the fucking, every single person they come across is threatening the galaxy for some reason. For like, why? Exactly,
I mean, that's what I appreciated is they kind of buried that lead, right? That wasn't the whole thing. It did feel like a smaller thing.
was cool.
When in reality, every planet's getting this black tar thing coming out and getting everybody. But okay, but it didn't feel like that was what was happening necessarily.
And I liked that, and I liked the sort of non-conventional way they backed into it, right? Where you're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, he actually gets to meet his dad. But then you're like, oh, is the threat really the gold people who seem like completely inept and can't possibly hunt down one ship with a billion ships that they have?
And that's kind of a problem I've had with especially the first one. I think this had it as well, but I think did a better job of handling it, is that so much of the world, like they jump from planet to planet to planet to planet to planet to the point where you're like, I don't even give a fuck what the name is. You might as well not tell me what it is. And when you start dealing with these people, it's just like, it's so weird how it feels like it is in a totally different world than the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I get that that's the tone of this movie and that's what it's going for. And I appreciate it. I did enjoy it. It's just in the first movie, I didn't really care about Michael Rooker's character or any of the or Nebula or any of that shit, right?
Yeah.
And this character in this movie, I did.
Yeah.
A bit more. But then it's like then they introduce a whole bunch of other characters I don't care about. So
Well,
it's
but I
like,
thought
well,
they did-
I care about them in the third one. Who knows?
like for instance, the second in command of what's Michael Rooker's
Zandu.
character is Zandu.
Zandu.
His ship.
Who
I was
is,
like, we're gonna start
James
caring about
Gunn's
that guy.
brother.
Is that really?
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I actually like this guy, but that's the sign of good storytelling, right? Is that they take these characters that you're like, I know these guys are either forgettable or despicable, and they kind of bring you around to liking them toward the end. And then by the second movie, you're like, I actually really like that. Like that was the most emotional part of the movie for me, which you totally saw coming when he was like, I just happen to have one flight thing and one spacesuit. Here you go. And you're like, well, I see how this is going to end. He's going to fly him up into space as the planet's exploding, and he's going to pin the spacesuit on him. Like, I was your dad all along. And it's like, he comes to that realization. And guess what? I saw it coming from a mile away. Still teared up.
Still
Oh, yeah.
a cool
I
was
moment,
like,
though.
God
And
damn it, that was a good
That
moment.
was a good moment that I didn't think was ruined by a James Gunn joke, unlike the Kurt Russell, who was a fairly straight character the entire time, and then now I'm David Hasselhoff, based off something that only the audience really knows.
Yeah, that's fairly true. Although there was some, I was a little confused at that as to whether or not he actually was David Hasselhoff on that planet or something. I never quite got it. Well, because how the hell else would he have known about Hasselhoff?
I don't know, because it's funny.
Did they talk to
That's
him?
why.
Maybe they had a conversation before Hasselhoff. It doesn't matter.
I think he just knew. I mean,
That he
he's
idolized
the
David
planet, so he
Hasselhoff.
must hear everything in some respect. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is a leap of faith and something for us. That's a good point. But I mean, I'm sure he's told that story to her. He's heard it other places. I don't know. He's he's a god, or he's creating nothing.
That's
he was
true.
a brain that woke up in space.
The thing is, I will give them the pass because there's something to the like cringy comedy that works when that's the point. Like when it turns into a giant Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It's
That
like,
offbeat level, yeah. I think it
it's
works
one
more
of
often
those
than
things where
not.
I'm like, that is so just ugh. But there's something about it
it works.
being in this movie that
Yeah.
works, and it's not. It's like good for you. Like I cheered that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. They're really good at I don't want to say subtly setting up those jokes because they're not subtle at all.
At
Like, he was
all.
like, I'm going to build some weird
I'm gonna
shit.
say
I'm going to
some
build a giant
words, they're
Pac-Man
gonna
over
pay
there.
off
And then
later.
we see Pac-Man, right? We see the batteries and how many times they talk about those batteries and how powerful those batteries were. No, I still have the batteries, by the way. And then it's like, cool, we're going to blow up the fucking planet with the batteries. But that's just good
mentioned
setup and
batteries
payoff, right?
Yeah.
What's that? What about? What
I
you said?
I think they mentioned the batteries like 3 times.
That's all you need.
It wasn't like they were constantly saying the batteries.
I
talked
felt
about
like they were.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
everything
felt like
you
there's
have
so much battery.
But you have to do that, right? You have to do
That's
that for it to
movies.
be to have that setup pay off in the end. I mean, I liked it, but that's the thing. It's like, where does this rank in all the Marvel movies? Right up there with Guardians of the Galaxy 1, right? Which is to say, it's like it's fun.
super high.
I think it's fun. Yeah.
But like fun or super high?
See, I don't think this was better than the first one. I don't think it was close to it, but I just don't think it was better. It ranks
you?
up there.
Again, I feel I think it's the like Uncharted or whatever, where it gets really confusing because I like it so much because man, they made me care about Zandu in a way I didn't care about before. Like that's awesome because in the first one he was just a dick, and it was when he opens the thing at the very end and sees it's a troll doll, and he smiles like, all right, he's not that bad of a guy,
Right.
Like, he's in it. But like, yeah, I didn't expect it to be sad at the end of this one. It's just a continuation of it. You know what I mean? That's why I like that it's volume 2, which
Yeah.
sounds goofy, but I mean,
It kind of
there
makes
is
sense.
a different connotation there than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or Guardians of the Galaxy new name or whatever the fuck it was. It was very much like, here's the continuing saga of these characters. And I have always been the guy who, I shouldn't say anymore, but like in the old days of superhero movies, I always liked the second one more because it was getting away from the origin story. I
Yeah.
like Spider-Man 2 better. I liked X-Men 2 better. I like
Ghostbusters
jumping
2.
in. Ghostbusters 2 superhero movie. I just wanted more Janosch. I was
Yeah.
waiting for his spin-off. You know?
Kev,
Oh, but they booed.
what's your final statement on this? Is it better than 1?
I mean, I fucking loved it. I haven't laughed that hard in movie theater. I'm really happy Paula couldn't make it because she would have been like, you're embarrassing me. I enjoyed the shit out
He
of it.
laughed really hard.
And you are one of the biggest 1 fans I know.
I fucking love 1, but this one, man, I don't know. It did everything that 1 did and then a lot of stuff, like, I think better.
There you go.
It was missing one element for me, which I feel like is the trump card whenever you put this gentleman in any movie, John C. Reilly. God bless that guy. He's always funny. He's the only reason I went and saw Skull Island. Did I see Skull Island? No, I never saw it. But I would watch it because of him when it comes on Netflix, for sure.
See, I guess that's a good point too. Is that I liked the surrounding cast, I think, more than I liked the Nova Corps before.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Glenn Close's character, and I like John C. Reilly as an actor. Don't get me wrong. I always like, oh, they got my dick message. Like that was great, and like I understand what they're setting up, but like I liked the gold people as stupid foils that think they're so fucking awesome.
I
but
loved
then
the
little,
red carpet.
Exactly, little red carpet,
So
blue
good.
carpet can't make it there or whatever. I was like, that's great. You know what I mean? Like, and I like that it was tighter with like Rooker's dudes or whatever, and like they're a taser face and all this is
Yeah.
this is
That
cool.
was the one jokes where I was like, oh god, I didn't think that one worked, unfortunately. But
the entire thing of it.
taser face every time they were just. You're right. I mean, there's a lot of that. Like we're gonna shotgun this, right? We're just gonna have so many jokes that are coming out and we're gonna beat all of them to the ground, and a lot of them are gonna hit, but some of them just aren't gonna hit. Like all the stuff with Batista was like 80% of it was great, and then there could have been another 20%. You just like let's dial that back, but we didn't, and that's Guardians. That's just the style of this movie.
Definitely. I want to do a Game Over Grey show topic soon where we do our 2017 ranking of the MCU, where we all stand.
Fun.
And kind of go from there. Because I don't know. Guardians 1 used to be so high for me, but then as I start thinking about it, I think that there's been so many quality movies in the franchise that have come out that I'm like, it's dropping rank, and now that this one is higher than it, it's even lower. So I don't know.
Avengers is number one though, right?
To me, Avengers is number one.
Hell yeah, it is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's like other movies that I'm like, man, these are really damn good.
Ed
Like,
Norton's Hulk.
I think that I think Doctor Strange is the definitive version of a solo origin story, because it made us give a shit about a character, and it did Iron Man better than Iron Man did. Like in terms of it.
Now you're getting to the topic. You're getting into the
dare
topic.
you.
You're getting into the topic.
I'm just putting it out there. It's third act.
What didn't you like about Ironmonger and Iron Man 1?
Anything, actually. Anything,
The best
anything
part about
that.
that though is that they didn't make you watch it for too long, because
Yeah.
the third act of that movie was only 5 minutes long. So it was great. They were like, let's just get in, get out.
Yeah.
Let's get these people out. They've been in here for a good 90 minutes. Get them out, for Christ's sake.
We didn't know what we were doing back
Obadiah?
then. We didn't know what we were doing.
No, we didn't know. We didn't
Obadiah Stane. What a fucking guy.
Awesome.
You know
Jeff
what I
Bridges,
mean?
shout out. Although, shout out to the young Kurt Russell effect.
Oh,
that was
right.
fucking flawless in this.
Really?
Dude, I just watched Tron Legacy again. Oh, compared to that movie, this is like, I mean, we're talking like fucking god level
But it
effects.
still wasn't good.
I thought it was pretty good.
I mean,
It didn't take me out of it.
oh, it took me out of it.
Really? I thought it was pretty spot on.
I thought it was
Man,
really good. I thought it was good.
I am not a Kurt Russell guy. I
love Kurt Russell.
So I'm not like
It
looking
was
at
Jack
being
Burton. I was like,
that's
oh my
how
god,
he
that's
looks.
Jack Burton. In fact, I saw that. I'm like, they could easily do a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China right now with that effect. I'd be totally fine with it.
Oh man,
I'm
I
being
looked at it and I was
facetious.
just
I'm
like,
totally
that's
joking.
not right.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they fucking nailed it. I thought they nailed it because they were like, everyone's going to obviously know that this is an effect. Let's make his hair amazing. Let's just make it ridiculous, like ridiculously over the top 70s style hair. And I thought it was fun. But yeah, man, go back and watch Tron Legacy.
I mean,
And boy, that
I know
unfortunate,
that's bad. I'm not
unfortunate
arguing that.
effect. But this didn't take me out of it like that, dude. Is what all I'm saying. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like it.
Shout out to that first scene happening in Missouri too. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You were
Like,
stoked
that's where you
about
went to
that.
college, right?
I was. Yeah, I was waiting for somebody.
Kansas-
to
Kansas University, KU.
Shut up. I hate you. I thought the movie was great. I really don't have anything that I really didn't like about it. You know what I mean? That's the thing about it. And I don't know. Like it was I liked Zandu. I liked Nebula, which I didn't expect to.
I didn't expect to like that
when
either.
Nebula came around, it was just like I just wanted a sister or whatever. He's like, oh, I feel for you. And when she doesn't kill Gamora and like they have that moment, I was like, fuck yeah. And she hugs her back a little bit before walking off. I'm like, I like you, and I hope you show up in Infinity War.
I'm sure she will.
She
She
will.
better.
Yeah.
They need to fill that 84 characters
Yeah.
that they're gonna have. Yeah,
Howard the Duck too. I want him in there.
yeah. Everyone
Howard the
will
Duck
be
better
there.
take the final shot on Thanos. You know what I'm talking about? Like Thanos is fucking everyone up, and Howard the Duck is 22 to the back of the head, right in the back of the ear, so it rattles around a little bit. That'd be the shit.
That's what's gonna do it. 22.
They'll have worn him down by that point, Kevin. You don't know how these movies work. You don't know how anything goes. Movie was great.
Enjoyable, very enjoyable.
Does the Bradley Cooper Rocket voice seem weird to anybody still?
It always is.
Okay,
it
cool,
always
just making
did.
sure.
Yeah.
I love Rocket.
I love him, don't get me wrong, but it's always when it starts, even the second viewing of this movie, it starts, it's just like, ooh.
Well, it's because
eventually I
it's
ease into it.
Bradley. It's because it's Bradley Cooper, and you know
Yeah.
it's Bradley Cooper, and he's clearly doing the voice. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, shout out to Vin Diesel, I guess, doing Baby Groot. I have to assume they modulated his voice.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yes, Nick.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, maybe I was like, unless Vin
The
Diesel
range
became
of
the
Vin
most
Diesel.
amazing actor I've ever seen. But like, he did a great job with that. But yeah, Bradley Cooper's voice is always kind of throw me off. I love Bradley Cooper, but Rocket, it's just like you can just see Bradley Cooper behind a mic doing that voice.
I kind of like that though.
I don't
feel
dislike
like
it. I
grounds
think it
it
works,
a bit in a
but-
way that makes it more like, all right, you're Bradley Cooper. Like otherwise,
Yeah.
you're just a little fucking shithead.
Whoa, Jesus.
You know?
yeah. Well,
But
shout
now
out.
It gives
this
him
whole thing, Now
character.
he's come around again, right? I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see him in Infinity War, and who calls him a raccoon who gets bit. I hope it's Spider-Man.
I go with Spider-Man.
I hope it's all Spider-Man.
I like when he called him the triangle monkey face or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like slowly.
Let us
he's like,
know in the comments below what you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We all really liked it. I hope you all really like it too. All you critics out there that don't like it, hey, that's your opinion. But you're wrong. Until next time.
I'm Groot.
It's been our pleasure to serve you. and all
Oh,
that.
it's been our pleasure to serve you.
We're trying to mix match the.
I didn't. Are we? I
catchphrases.
didn't know that.
I don't know.
Okay, I thought you were gonna tell the critics to suck it and do the cross chop. And I
Nick,
was
show
gonna
me
be all about
how much is left in there. That's
Not much.
disgusting.
That is gross.
Oh,
That is
Lord.
really
Does this sound
gross.
like everyone? Sounds like joy and happiness and Red Bull.
And Red Bull.